Keith.
No, of course not.
Well, maybe that's Keith now with the big apology for worrying you two. Hello? Yes? Yeah, well, why are you calling us? Uh-huh. What does he look like? Okay, officer. Thank you. We'll get back to you. Sorry, Cassie, it's some bad news. It was the police. A man matching Keith's description was found dead in the dense woods by the airport with a single bullet to the back of his head. He didn't have any identification on him, but he did have a piece of paper with your name, phone number, and address.
Could you speak up, please, Mrs. Roberts?
Sorry, I'm just having a hard time betraying a confidence.
Please, continue.
I went over to Landfair to bring Jessica a little gift. It was a little stuffed dog that I saw in a department store window, and well, I bought it on impulse and just impulsively dropped in on Vicki and Clint. Vicki was alone. I found her in the library, just angrily pacing back and forth.
Did she explain why she was angry?
Oh, yes. She was bursting. I think she would have told anyone who would have walked in. She was very angry with Clint. She felt betrayed because he believed that she had kidnapped her own daughter, and she felt that her life was becoming unbearable. Well, she asked Clint to move out of the house, and he refused. I believe that was also around the time that she fired him from the banner. Again, I can't remember the date.
Does any of this sound familiar?
And after she ranted about Clint for a while, then she broke down and started to cry. She said she wanted out of the marriage so badly that she couldn't even bear to be in the same room with him or to even look at him, and that...
And what, Mrs. Roberts?
She confessed that her feelings were growing for another man, one who supported her and helped her, believed in her more fully. I didn't know who he was, but obviously that man was Tom.
Objection.
Sustained. Strike that from the record, please.
Did she speak of the children?
Yes. She said she knew that once she asked for a divorce, Clint would probably demand custody of the children. And even though she loved the children, she felt that her freedom was much more important than the marriage, even more important than the children. And if it meant losing them to Clint, well, then so be it.
You are a liar, Maria Roberts. I would never have said that to anyone ever.
To kill Keith to get his passport and leave the country.
I'm afraid that's a real plausible theory, Cass.
He was so young. He was such a nice guy. He was also very talented, Diane.
Now, wait a minute, Cass. Rafe Garrettson, please, John Russell.
I should never let
Let's
Jamie
not
in here.
go accusing anybody.
That's how Jamie met Keith in the first place. Thanks, Cassie. I really needed to be reminded of that.
Oh, Rafe? Yeah, John Russell. Listen, we've got a pretty good idea who that guy is. Keith Radcliffe. He's a friend of Cassie's, came over here from Vienna with her. Yeah, he was a student of her father's. I've got some other news for you, too. You know that wonderful nephew of mine, Jamie Sanders? Yeah, well, he knew that the kid had plans to go to Brazil. That's exactly what I'm thinking. No, I understand. We'll be right down. Thanks. Rafe wants you to come down to the morgue to identify the body.
You know, you are really a great salesman. But no.
Oh, man, you're right on the verge.
You know, I really think you missed your calling in life.
It can't be true. Otherwise, you'd still consider going to Buenos Aires with me.
Whew, believe me, it's not that I'm not tempted. You are tempting me, especially with this subpoena hanging over my head, but it seems a little far to go to just get away for a couple days, you know?
Fine. We'll celebrate in the good old U.S. of A. Skiing in Aspen, gambling in Atlantic City or Vegas, bright lights of Broadway in New York.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what Cor would think if I left town with another man? And you know what he'd think no matter how innocent it was?
The only time Cord even talks to you is to make you cry or feel bad. How's he going to know?
Because I have no luck in life, Max. That's why, because everything I do always just backfires on me. See what I mean? It's probably that darn process server again.
Stubborn critter, isn't he?
Tina, it's Cord. You in there?
I would never say that my freedom was more important than my children. You are lying!
Mrs. Buchanan!
Oh, Your Honor, she made that conversation up every word.
Please. If you don't sit down and be quiet, I'll hold you in contempt.
Vicky, please sit down. Let Judith show Maria up for the liar she is, all right?
Maria claims that Vicky told her that she'd rather lose her children to Clint than stay married to him.
Vicky said that?
Well, obviously not.
Mrs. Sanders, approach the bench, please.
Maria said she never mentioned this to you.
She didn't. And I'm having trouble with that myself, Herb. From the moment I mentioned suing for custody, Vicky was adamant. She swore she would never give him up.
Did she lie to help you?
Well, Maria, I don't think so. I don't know why. I never asked her to.
Now I want complete quiet restored before we continue.
Do not lose control again. Clint is trying to prove emotional instability. It's just playing into his hands. I'm sorry. It's all right.
Mr. Callison, any more questions for this witness?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Roberts, you took an oath in this courtroom to tell the truth. Mrs. Roberts? Mrs. Buchanan accuses you of being a liar.
Oh, God. I should never have told that story.
Is it a true story?
I have no reason to fabricate it. Being a mother myself, when I heard those words, I was shocked. Maybe she only felt that way for a moment. Maybe she felt that way after I left. But while I was at Landfair, she was very angry with Clint, and she did say that her freedom was more important than keeping her children. Vicky, I'm so sorry.
And that's another lie.
No more questions.
Your witness.
I will have some questions in a moment, Your Honor.
I don't understand. I was with Maria all morning, and she didn't say anything about this.
Well, everyone knows that Maria is after Clint. She must feel that if he gets custody, he'll be grateful to her.
Who are they?
Elwood Briggs, my city editor, and Vicky's secretary, Joanne Baker.
Mrs. Roberts, the day that you spoke to Mrs. Buchanan, was there anyone else there?
I've already stated that we were alone.
So there's no one to back up your allegations?
No, Your Honor, objection. The witness already sworn twice under oath that she was telling the truth. Aren't we getting just a wee bit redundant?
The issue of this witness perjuring herself has already been addressed. I do have a right to continue with this line of questioning.
Agreed. Objection overruled.
Mrs. Roberts, how long have you been in Landview?
About 8 months.
And did you meet Vicky Buchanan when you got here?
Yes, my son got a job with the Banner while Vicky was still a publisher. She was very kind to my son and to my husband and me.
Mm-hmm. And did you have opportunity to go to the Buchanan home?
Yes, many times.
And on all of these occasions, did you at one point see Mrs. Buchanan with her children, being a mother? Was there any behavior that might have been detrimental to them?
No, I can't say that I saw any of that.
Yet, Vicky made a statement that she would rather have her freedom from Clint than her custody over her own children.
I know that it is hard to believe. And again, maybe she only felt that way for the moment, but yes, she did say it.
What is your relationship with Vicky? Is she a friend, an acquaintance?
Well, until today, I thought we were friends.
Did she confide in you often?
Not often, but obviously sometimes.
And what about her husband, Clint? Were you closer to him? Did he confide in you?
Well, yes, I think we are closer because we do have deeper discussions.
Why is that, Mrs. Roberts? Is that because you might have some, oh, I don't know, special feeling towards him?
Objection, leading the witness.
Yes, ignore the question.
Mrs. Roberts, what do you suppose the reason is that you feel closer to Clint than to his wife, Vicky?
Well, I suppose the reason is that we've shared the past.
So you and Clint have a past.
What did I just tell you about my luck? Look, you gotta get out of here. You gotta go out the back door. It's through the kitchen. Go on.
I like the meat cord.
No, just get moving. Go on.
Tina?
Claude, I'm right here. I'll be there in a second. Look, just get moving.
Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. You take the cameo, and I'll go. You're welcome.
Just go. Would you get
Oh, and
moving?
another thing. You promised to go to South America with me.
If you don't get out of here right now, I am going to promise never to speak to you again as long as you live.
Okay, I'll be back with a big batch of tissues for today's batch of tears.
Hi, honey. I'm sorry it took so long. I was just getting dressed.
Oh, I thought I heard some talking.
No. That was the TV set. Well, this certainly is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, well, there's nothing pleasant going on over at that courthouse, let me tell you. Have you been served with your subpoena yet?
No.
Well, Herb told me that he wants you to testify for Clint.
I know. How could he do that to me? How could Clint do that to me?
Tina, I was under the understanding that you wanted to testify for Vicky.
Yes, I did, but then Judith decided that I'd do more harm than I would good, and I really don't want to get caught in the middle of this. It's just that she's my sister. I mean, you understand that? I mean, Clint's your father, right?
I tell you, Tina, I hate this whole damn situation. It just stinks up and down.
I know, but I have to stick with my sister. But if Herb asks me all sorts of questions about Vicky and Nikki, then it's going to get terrible, and there goes any semblance of sisterhood.
You know, all I know is that they're sending a subpoena over here, and it should be here any minute. Now, if it comes, you're going to have to do something about it because they put people in jail for ignoring those things.
Well, I would rather go to jail than betray my own sister.
Tina, come on, what is one more betrayal in your lifetime? I'm sorry, that was uncalled for.
Boy, you can't miss any opportunity to hurt me, can you?
I said I was sorry. Tina, you do what you want to do. I can't drag you to the courthouse.
Look, if it means that much to you, then maybe I can go testify.
John, there is no way I'm going to do that.
There's no way I am looking at a dead body.
Look, there's still the possibility that the body isn't Keith's.
Of course it's Keith's. Who else would be going around with my name and phone number in their pocket? And you know that Jamie did it.
Right, but we still got to go down the morgue and identify the bodies, and you too, Diane.
Me? But if Cass is going, why do you need me?
You're the last one to see him alive. The cops are going to want to talk to you too. Come on.
Why did I ever drive him to the airport? Why did you ever let Jamie in here?
Rafe?
Kate, thanks for coming right over.
Sure, I broke the speed limit because you said it was about Jamie. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that to you. That bad?
I couldn't find your father, and your mom is still in court.
Rafe, just tell me, what is it?
Do you know Cassie Callison, Herb Callison's daughter?
No.
Well, she returned from Europe with a kid who was on his way to Brazil as a pianist. Now, according to your uncle, Jamie met him, knew he was headed out of the country.
So he stole his passport and ticket.
Possibly, we're not certain.
Well, why don't you ask the guy?
He was killed. Shot. I'm sorry to have to lay this on you. Your uncle and Cassie are headed over to identify the body. If it is Keith Radcliffe, we'll have to inform Brazilian authorities.
I can't believe he shot somebody. I don't know why I'm so stunned. He left my mother in the freezer to die. But in cold blood, Rafe?
Do you have any idea where Jamie might go after Brazil? Because my instincts tell me he's not going to hang around there.
No. Wait a minute. Did you ever find out where the crack ring originated?
He wouldn't tell us. Said he'd be killed if he did.
Wonderful. That leaves all of South America. What's he going to do there? Ruin more lives with drugs? Kill the ones he can't ruin?
I'm sorry, Kate.
Mrs. Roberts, tell us about your first meeting with Clint Buchanan.
Your Honor, this is a totally irrelevant line of questioning.
It's hardly irrelevant if I can prove the witness had a possible motive to lie in order to help Mr. Buchanan gain custody of his children.
I'm overruling you, Mr. Callison. Continue, Counselor.
Mrs. Roberts, wasn't your initial meeting with Clint Buchanan at the Buchanan Ranch in Cherokee County, Texas?
Yes. Yes, my mother and I lived on the ranch. She was the cook for Asa Buchanan and his family.
And were you merely friends or were you lovers?
We were friends who fell in love and became lovers.
And out of that union came your son, Cordero.
That's right.
Excuse me. This was the young man who testified earlier.
Correct, Your Honor. Before the pregnancy became known to the father, what happened?
My mother went to Clint's father, and he gave her money to take me away from Cherokee County. And he made her promise to never tell Clint the truth. And then he threatened us with deportation.
So it wasn't until Cord moved to Landview, in fact, a few months after that, that the truth was out.
Yes, that's right.
And then your husband died, correct?
Yes.
So...
I loved him very much.
So there you were, without a husband. Your son had moved to Landview. What did you do?
I moved to Landview as well.
Because of Clint Buchanan?
Because of Cordero.
So your son is your whole life?
No. No, my son is a very independent young man.
Then there must be some other reason that you moved to Landview. Possibly Clint Buchanan, Mrs. Roberts?
My relationship is with Clint and Vicky.
Mrs. Roberts, did you not find yourself falling in love with Clint Buchanan again?
Well, now, Your Honor, I consider this very, very close to badgering the witness.
And I consider this getting at the truth and finding an explanation for Maria Roberts' lie.
Wait a minute, Tina. Just what the hell are you saying to me now?
Well, if it means that much to you, then I'll go and I'll testify for Clint.
A minute ago, that was impossible because of your loyalty to Vicky.
You are my husband. I have loyalty to you, too.
No, you don't, Tina. You don't have any loyalty to anybody but yourself. Well, sure, if it scores a few points with me, you're going to do something to hurt Vicky. Well, that's a real pretty picture, let me tell you.
Don't even talk to me like that, all right? I am just this far from falling apart right here.
I was a fool for ever coming by here, Tina. All you ever want to talk about is how lonely and how upset and how hurt you are.
That's because I would do anything to win you back.
Well, you can't win me back, Tina. Not now, not ever.
I don't understand. You know, I really do not understand how you could totally ignore the fact that I am carrying your child.
Mrs. Walter Payton on Wheaties.
When I told my husband Walter they changed his Wheaties, he acted like a bear. Don't worry, sweetness. They're still low in sugar. All they did was take out 25% of the sodium. They still give you energy you need to pick yourself up on Sunday afternoons. And me, energy to pick up after you on Sunday nights. Wheaties, yeah, what the big boys eat. Cute box.
I'd like to talk to women who aren't pregnant yet about a new home pregnancy test called Q-Test. You see, the sooner you start taking care of yourself, the better for your baby. So I took a Q-Test the day I missed my period. Q-Test is easy, reliable, and so accurate, doctors use it.
New Q-Test for pregnancy. Because the sooner you know, the better for your baby.
Introducing Electric Musk, the sizzling new fragrance from Impulse Body Spray. If a man you've never met before suddenly gives you flowers, that's the impulse of Electric Musk, the sizzling new fragrance from Impulse.
Hey, Dad! Ooh, Daddy, your shirt.
What happened? Don't ask.
It's that shirt.
Ugh. Wash it in Surf. Unlike detergents that just cover up odors, Surf actually removes both dirt and odors.
It's the shirt. And it looks clean, guys. It's not smelly. Okay.
Thanks. New Surf removes both the dirt and the odors.
Look, I understand your anger at me.
Tina, what the hell are you talking about?
I don't understand how you can ignore the fact that I'm carrying your child and then say that it doesn't make any difference.
Why do you keep talking like I should know something about this?
Because you do. I left that message on your phone machine. You said you got it.
No, I got a message from you that stopped in mid-sentence, Tina. It's just like you just stopped talking.
You mean you don't know? Oh, my God, you really don't know. Cord, you make me so happy you do, because I thought you just didn't care. I thought you didn't care about me or the baby, but there's difference, you know. You really have to get this machine fixed, honey. You really do, because... Honey, all that nights when we were trying to make a baby, we did. We did, and it's right inside of me right now, and... Oh, you made me so happy you did. I thought you didn't give a damn about anything about me or the baby or anything, and... Look, it happened almost right after you left. He said I wasn't feeling too good, so I went to the doctor to find out what was wrong, and he said I'm pregnant. Yeah, I know you feel that I betrayed you. And I know you're mad at me, but I also know that you really do love me. And I hope to God you know how much I love you, because you know what we can do now? We can start a brand new life, honey. We can build this wonderful life and this wonderful home for the baby. I wish you'd say something. You know, I really can't stand the silence.
I don't have anything to say to you, Tina. You're nothing but a stinking little liar.
So you did make a positive ID?
Yeah. It was Keith, at least it used to be.
I'm sorry, Cass.
You know, I was really happy to be home and to be able to let Keith stay in my home with my mom and me. I think he'd still be alive if...
See, don't blame yourself. I mean, if I wasn't so afraid of Jamie, I would have thrown him right out of the apartment.
Exactly what happened that day?
Jamie came over. Dorian wasn't home, and I asked him to leave, but he just pushed his way in.
He was asking Keith all kinds of questions about how and when he was going to Brazil, and...
Yeah, he even offered to drive him to the airport.
So he must have thought of this immediately, right?
Right, to intercept Keith at the airport. He must have talked him into going with him and shot him and listed his passport.
I don't know why I didn't just walk him to the gate instead of just dropping him off.
Well, that means you were nearly the last person to see him alive.
Yeah. I guess so. But I really can't help you.
Did you tell Jamie that you were driving Keith to the airport?
No, of course not.
Well, he might have called you.
Well, he didn't.
When you got to the airport, did Keith use a skycap to check his luggage, someone who might remember you?
Remember me? What does that have to do with anything?
Witness came here in good faith to offer testimony that might influence the custody of the Buchanan children. It appears counsel is putting her on trial.
I have a right to establish perjury if it exists, Your Honor.
All right, both of you, that's enough. I'm glad Cord isn't here. Well, it seems this witness made an extremely explosive statement, one which is passionately denounced by Mrs. Buchanan. But since there were no other witnesses present at this alleged conversation, I think I'll let this questioning continue, with apologies to Mrs. Roberts for any discomfort it may bring her. But the issue, however, outweighs the comfort or discomfort. Mrs. Sanders.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Roberts, I'll be happy to repeat the question if you
You don't
prefer.
have to repeat the question. I loved Clint Buchanan very much when we were teenagers. And now that we've become friends again, yes, I care about him. But no, I have... Now that we've become friends again, yes, I care about him. But no, I have not fallen in love with him again.
But if Vicky and Clint were to get divorced, that would clear the way for you, wouldn't it?
No, now just a minute. Sanders, you and I both know that falls under the heading of conjecture.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I have a small conference with my client?
Yes, certainly.
Vicky.
No points, right?
I don't think so. She's not coming back with anything.
Have you overheard any conversations with Clint and Maria, or anything with Maria that might prove that Maria's in love with Clint?
Oh, I don't know. I've been told that I shouldn't trust her. I've been told she's interested in Clint, but because of my amnesia, I don't know anything.
No more questions for Mrs. Roberts at the moment, Your Honor.
You may step down, Mrs. Roberts. Thank you.
Well, am I next?
Larry, you were subpoenaed?
Yeah. Can you believe it? Against Vicky?
Maria got away with that lie, didn't she?
We managed to plant a doubt in Judge Guernsey's mind. Proof, however, it was not.
You're not being accused of anything.
Not? Oh. I'm sorry. I guess I'm just not used to looking at a dead body. To answer your question, the airport was really busy, and I drove up to the curb. Keith got out. He put his luggage on the sidewalk. I asked him again if he wanted me to wait for him, and he said no, he wanted to get checked in and look over his music. So I wished him luck, and I went on home to Dory's.
Jamie was probably in that terminal somewhere waiting to stick a gun in his side and drive him off to the woods.
Yeah, which would have been a great plan, except that he forgot to check through Keith's pockets. Forgot the piece of paper with Cassie's name and address, phone number.
God, I hope they catch him and kill him. Can I go now? I think Dorian might need me at the studio.
Sure, thanks for stopping by.
I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, right, Diane. Hello, Rafe. What do you think?
I've always had problems with Diane Bristol.
You think maybe she and Jamie met a little bit earlier than she claimed, huh?
Could be. One thing we do know, Jamie's never connected her to any of his drug dealing.
I don't know. It seems like she's almost more guilty than upset over seeing Keith. I haven't entirely trusted her since I've gotten back, though.
Yeah, well, look, this is all just theory, but we do have a murder and a missing criminal and a serious investigation ahead of us. Cassie, do you know where Keith's parents live?
Yeah. They live in a small town in South Dakota. He told me that he was the pride of that place, being a prodigy of David Rinaldi's.
Now, Rafe, you mind if I take Cassie home now?
He'll call as soon as you get the number right.
I will. Sorry again, hon.
Keep us informed.
I will, John.
2 minutes before I walked out of here, you said you would do anything to get me back. Is this it, Tina? Is this the anything you were talking about?
have a doctor's report.
Yeah? Well, I don't want to see your damn doctor's report, Tina. You waved one of those in front of Clint's face, didn't you? But that was a fake, that was a phony, that was something you paid for.
Not this one.
Well, I just don't believe you, Tina. What was this, your trump card? The phony suicide attempt didn't work. The begging didn't work. Well, I got news for you, little girl. This phony pregnancy isn't going to work with me either. It's gone, you know that? What last bit of love and respect I had for you, it's gone. Just died. Right here and right now.
Who is it?
Tissue delivery.
Go away!
Do you know how much this box cost me?
Thanks.
You want to talk about it? I was down in the lobby. I was waiting for Cord to leave. I never saw a man with a whole thunder and lightning storm in his face. I didn't know if he'd still be alive when I came back up here.
I'm not. He killed me. Or I killed his love for me. I don't know, but either way, he is totally wrong.
About what?
Don't press me.
All right, may I impress you? While I was down in the lobby, I picked up a couple of plane tickets. Seems there would be no problem for two people to fly first class to Atlantic City this afternoon.
Who wrote that story about the boy who cried wolf?
Wait, I don't know. That was a fairy tale, wasn't it?
Oh, do you know how it ends? I mean, does the wolf eat him, or does he live, or does anybody ever believe him again?
The way I recall it, he moves to a new town where he starts a brand new life as an honest person. He lives happily ever after.
No, I know the wolf eats him and he dies. You know why? Because all of a sudden, all your sins, they just all build up and then they just crush you.
Come on, teen, come on. What about other fairy tales? What about Cinderella and her fairy godfather that gets her out of her predicament, huh?
That's a fairy godmother.
That's the old version. In the new version, the fairy godfather offers Cinderella a plane to escape the evil husband.
He's not evil. Don't you see? That's the problem. He's too good for me, but he's not too good for the...
Okay, a plane to escape the angry husband. And not only that, but he has a prince waiting for her. A prince with a silver mine.
So which one are you? Are you the prince or the fairy godfather?
Boy, I have let this get out of hand, haven't I? Hey, listen, in addition to the plane tickets, I also booked us in 2 separate rooms in 2 separate hotels. Just to let you know my intentions are honorable.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Now, come on, teen. Let Max take care of you and take you out and give you a good time. Come on, you need it desperately. Hey, where are your suitcases? Either you pack or I'm packing, but either way, we got to get moving. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'm going to come back here and find a new fairy tale happening.
Which one?
The petrified forest. I'm going to come back and find you a twig standing here, petrified in grief, pain, and rejection.
You know, I think you're right. Well, Max Holland, I think time is on my side.
Now we're into cliches instead of fairy tales, but what the heck? Blow your nose, woman. We're almost out of here.
Look, Kate, if you sit down next to me, all you're going to hear is a bunch of terrible news. So if you're in a good mood, I suggest you keep on moving.
I've never felt worse in my life. Now, may I join you?
Yeah, sure.
till my dad gets here.
What's the bag for? You two going someplace?
No, I'm going somewhere alone. What's wrong? Only Tina can make you that angry.
Well, she did it again, Kate. Try it one more time to win me back. Only this time I think she sunk as low as she's ever gonna go. A baby.
She's pregnant?
Of course she's not pregnant. She's just pretending to be pregnant.
Are you sure?
I'm positive, Kate. She tried the same damn trick on somebody else before I ever came to town.
Well, if you're right, then she's a very sick woman, Cord.
No, Katie. I think I'm the one who's a little sick here. I mean, I just keep going back for the same kind of punishment time and time again, don't I? She knew that I wanted this baby more than anything in the world, right? And she just kind of used that against me to try to get me back. And a couple weeks down the line, she's just going to suffer this strange and mysterious miscarriage, right? And I'd be stuck. Right back where I started.
I'm sorry. Why, when it rains, it pours. Tina, Jamie, my mother and father.
Any news about Jamie?
Oh, yeah. He found out that a friend of Cassie Callison's was flying to Brazil, and he shot and killed him and took his passport.
Okay.
And now he's in South America somewhere. And to top it all off, I went to my parents this afternoon, and they've decided to split up.
Divorce?
Mm-hmm. So I'm running away from home, if you can call it that.
For good? I mean, Kate, you're not taking off for good, are you?
I don't know.
Kate, you can't do that. I mean,
What do you mean?
Yeah. Judith. You didn't eat your lunch.
How did you?
Yeah.
Take a bite.
Oh, all right.
Tell me something. Is there anybody around here you didn't subpoena?
No. I didn't subpoena Maria Roberts. She volunteered.
I'm convinced that the only reason she wasn't proven a liar is Vicky's amnesia.
Yeah, you jealous you don't have a perjurer in the lineup?
No, I'm just furious about the whole scenario.
You gonna save me a bite there? Just what?
Fine.
Thanks. You give me the bread. Thanks a million.
Hungry.
Good.
Well, Judith. I can't believe my timing.
Hello, Herb. How are you?
Good. Yeah, obviously court's not in session.
Lunch break.
How's the case going? Never mind. I'll read it in the paper. Well, I'm glad I found you two. I was looking for both of you.
What about?
I just got off the phone with Rafe Gerritsen. I volunteered for this duty.
It's about Jamie, isn't it?
Yeah, we think so. Do either one of you remember the caliber of gun that he used when he forced you in the freezer?
They found his gun.
They found a body, Judith. A poor kid who was on his way to Brazil. His ID and passport were missing. Hell, he was a friend of Cassie's. Jamie knew everything about his plan.
Don't tell me he killed someone for a passport.
I remember the gun, John. It was a 38.
So was the bullet that killed Keith Radcliffe.
Oh, my God.
Well, we were fortunate to find an empty room.
I don't want to eat this. I don't even know why I got it.
Vicky, you said you wrote me a letter after I told you and Clint I was going to leave Landview?
Yes, I did, but you never saw it. Somehow Clint got a hold of it. And I would have to say, judging by what happened in the courtroom this morning, I'm beginning to believe that it was Maria Roberts who intercepted it. Tom, I slipped it right far under your door to the carriage house. The next thing I knew, Clint was waving it in my face.
I see. Was there anything in that letter that might be damaging to your case?
I said Well, I mean, I don't really remember the exact words because I was very upset when I wrote it. But I pleaded with you in the letter not to leave because I said that you were the most important person in my life. And I said that I understood what you were doing and why you were doing it, that you hoped Clint and I would get back together again, but that even if we did get back together again, it would only be for the sake of the children, and that my feelings for you would never ever change, and that I could never ever love Clint.
Well, that is pretty powerful stuff to hand to Herb Callison, isn't it?
Do you think that that letter, combined with their claim that I'm emotionally unstable, could make me lose the children?
Vicky, honey, I have no way to answer that, but there's something I want to ask you. Do you still feel the same way you said you did in the letter?
Okay, what I mean is, I'd hate it if you had to pull up stakes and leave Landview for good and go out into the field and work all the time.
Why?
How can you ask me why, Kate? See, I thought we were getting pretty close, and... Well, I mean, I just can't imagine what my life would be like right now if you weren't in it as a friend.
Well, I have to admit that my first inclination was to sign up for a tour of duty, but I don't know. I'm going to go up to the mountains and ski, hike. I don't know, just give myself some time to think things out.
Well, we could talk about it. We could go out to dinner, you know, and I mean, wouldn't that help just as much?
No.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I can't go with you because of this custody hearing and everything. Clint needs me right now, so I need to be around.
I didn't ask you to come. I need some time to think things out alone, and I don't think company would help. I really need some space for my mother and father, Jamie, you.
Yeah, you need some space for me. Look, Kate, I don't know what I've done.
You didn't do anything. You just are. Don't make too much of it. I'm not going to be gone too long, and I'll be back when I made up my mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you do need to talk, I hope you know that all you have to do is call. And I sure hope that you're not going to leave for good, because that'd be like some major loss in my life right now.
Maybe more minor than you think. I'm going to call my dad and see if he's still going to meet me and get going.
How about, goodbye.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, you too.
Be seated.
That's fine with me, Herb. Besides, it looks like Tom and Vicky have had enough for today. They haven't even come back from lunch yet.
Mr. Callison, do you wish to call another witness?
Your Honor, Mrs. Sanders and I would like to have a word with you.
Approach the bench. Approach the bench.
Judith has had some troubling news, Oliver. It's a personal matter because it's so upsetting. I was hoping...
I would rather adjourn. Mr. Callison has kindly accepted that if it's all right with the court.
Not going for the kill when you have the chance. Hey, Counselor? Well, I wouldn't mind seeing more of that in my courtroom. Such magnanimity might even lead your clients to make a settlement.
I sincerely hope so.
Upon request of both attorneys, we're adjourning this hearing until